So this is something I've been meaning to do for a while. Um, this is the server map for an old server I used to play on back in, I want to say 2013 or so. It's called Blocktown. This is specifically Blocktown 4. They um, had 3 maps prior to this. This was the 4th one. I believe I joined on Blocktown 3. I don't have that map, but I do have this one, Blocktown 4. Um, so we were pretty, I guess, fresh. Not really fresh, but like we were out of beta for a year or so at that point, I think. So pretty early on, I guess, in the game's full release. But yeah, this is the server map. I got a hold of this some years ago, um, including the whole server file, but you don't really need to explore that quite yet. This is the spawn area. This is the spawn building. As you can see if I go up here, there's a couple of things that have gone wrong because I had to update this to modern versions for some of the things to work, like the heads and other things. So it kind of broke a few things. I have a backup of the original one, just in case. But yeah, we'll start exploring the spawn area. So the way that spawn worked is that there were these plots that you could buy, and you could build whatever you wanted in these plots. So each square, or each set of 4 squares, is a plot. Yep, you can see here, this is what a plot looks like. And you get this like area here. Yeah, I had a few plots, and we'll actually get to some of my old builds, but here's a statue of a player. I believe this is Fallen Icicle. He was an admin. I guess he had his own statue. I don't know if there's anything inside it. Doesn't look like it. But yeah, we used to have a lot of these all over the place. These like big statues and whatnot. So I guess to start things off, we'll look at my build. My build here at spawn. So I guess Hannah D. Wood owned this. I don't know who that is. There's my old username. I was roblox.com. I had this big fire thing going on. I don't really know what I was really intending with it. But yeah, there's this ladder bit, this portion under here where I would keep all of my storage. I guess I had a chicken farm here at some point. Oh yeah, so you'll see this a lot. In the starter kit, there were 16, or no, there were not 16 ender pearls, that's something different. There were a full set of stone tools and a bunch of watermelons, so oftentimes you'll see in this chest, you'll see all these melon slices and things in stone tools. At the ender pearl, we had an end farm that you could go to. And make extensive use of. I'm sure that lava there was a trash bin, so throw it in there. This is a head, so player head. I've been collecting a few of them. You can see in my survival inventory. I found a few. So yeah, we'll keep going a little bit. So some more backstory on Blocktown was that Blocktown was intended to be a family-friendly server. You would get banned for swearing, as I did a couple of times. They were very family friendly. They were even featured on a couple news articles back in the day. The owner was Peter Grace, and his son liked to play on the server too. When he played when he played back in the day, he would have been 4. It's now crazy to think. I think he's probably 16 or 17. This building was one that I owned, but I did not build it. It was built by Jigglypuff 44. He was one of my friends, and then he quit. He quit the game and stopped playing. And eventually, the way things worked is that if you didn't play for however long, your plots would go up for sale, and people could buy them. So one day, Jigglypuff he quit, and I managed to get a hold of his base at spawn. And yeah, he had this portion down here. We'd go up here with this water elevator, and there's an interior. I've already kind of looked around in the interior of it. There's not a whole lot in there. A lot of the chests are empty. But yeah, let's see here. Guess we can take a look at this building. It's got all these heads on it. So again, Jigglypuff 44. He lived over there. Riptide 225. I remember him. He was one of those people that I could never find after the server closed. But he was a fairly prominent player. He ran a hotel, and the thing he was known for the most was that he would die a lot. He would get killed a lot. And in fact, you'll see. Oh, here's my head. So someone took my old skin, or my old username, and yeah, they changed it. My skin has always been this sort of Captain Falcon skin that you see here. I haven't really changed that in many years. But Riptide, he would always get killed a lot, and so it was not super uncommon for you to go and see someone who had literally dozens of his head. Ooh, R22C. I'll talk to him I'll talk about him in a minute. But there were people who would have a lot of Riptide's head. This is Riptide's head, as you can see. I think this was his base, but so maybe he killed himself a bunch of times. But the way it worked is that if you died, you would drop your head. So provided incentive to. Ooh, I didn't want to do that. Let's see here. Let me fix this. I like to kind of keep things intact. But yeah, it looks like he had this multi-story complex with a basement and everything. Going all the way down, wasn't very well lit from the looks of things, but monsters were not able to spawn in the spawn town. So you never had to worry about lighting. I mean, obviously now this isn't a single player world, so monsters will spawn, but yeah, you have to, like, Riptide, I could never find out where he went after everything. But R22C, I'll actually talk about him now. That's MC101's cabin. He was my best friend on the server, and I was lucky enough that he kind of kept his username. He kept his username and used it on other platforms, so I was actually able to find him and I still have his Discord. I don't really talk to him, but maybe I should, you know? There's his head again. But I remember him because he, there used to be a warp to go to, I guess, the quote-unquote wilds. And you could go out, and you would, it would be like the main, like the true spawn, other than the spawn town. And right next to that, R22C had a base. It was his town that he had. I think it was called R22 City. So, but I remember I was getting harassed a little bit. You know, I was like 12 years old, if that. Oh, here's a shop. But yeah, the way that the shops worked was that you just right-click on these signs and buy things from these people. But yeah, I remember I was getting harassed one day on my first couple days, and my friend R22C, who is not my friend yet, but he soon became my friend, he added me to his town, and he took me in and let me stay there, and we became pretty good friends throughout the server's lifetime. Wonder what he's up to nowadays. I mean, I can obviously just message him, but oh, there's my head again. You know, wrong skin, because someone else got it again. But yeah. So yeah, what I like looking around in this for is I like to find player heads. I mean, it's kind of pointless because, you know, I can just go onto the server's files and find out everyone who played and look for their spawn points, which I've done before. But I also just like finding things like these, you know, these named items. So Pure Decent Owner Jack D Lad 1. You know, Flame Blade, which doesn't have the fire aspect enchantment. The Mob Hunting Sword, you know. Because Blocktown was all, you know, family friendly, there were a lot of children who played on the server, like actual children. And this was the days before Bedrock was really prominent. So you didn't have that. You were, you know, kind of bound to the Java edition. But there were a lot of kids who would play it, including me. And I just kind of like enjoy seeing what we were up to back then. You know, the things we built, I've found a couple of books. I've played on this map more than once, more than just this time that you're seeing here. Oh yeah, so the Blocktown was built on a flat plane. They didn't really fill in the blocks beneath it, so you see a lot of this under here. So pretty interesting. But yeah, there was not a lot of what was it? I don't even know what I was saying, but I kind of just like seeing what, you know, we built back then, what we were up to, our what we named our swords, what we wrote in books, and plus it just brings back some pretty nice memories, you know. Jeff Grace, I think this might have been the owner's like nephew or something because of the Grace, but Hoop. I think this is referring to Hoopla. So you remember earlier when I mentioned me getting harassed when I first started playing. It was by this person, Hoopla 920. She would kill me. I never actually got to ever kill her back, unfortunately. But I do remember. I remember those times, and I'm sure that's what that hoop is referring to. You know, she didn't have very many supplies from the looks of things. So who is this? This Livy. I remember Livy. So is this some type of default skin? Because a lot of these heads have it. But oh look, I can put it on. So there's a couple of these people I remember. Who is this? The Butterman. I kind of vaguely remember that. Jeff Grace. It's the owner of this place, and this Ugandan Knuckles JFL. I don't know who that is. Oh, there's Fallen Icicle up there. No, it's Stinker. Okay. I thought it was Fallen. I remember Stinker. He was kind of a nice guy. I think he was also like my age, like 11 or 12 or something like that. You know, another interesting thing is that all of the pets and everything have been saved. So it's kind of sad to think about. You know, these dogs and cats have been waiting. You know, the better part of 13 years, 14 years now, waiting for their owners to come back. I guess this one's named Poncho. Let's see here. Oh. Guess it's nighttime again, but so here, I guess this is the process of creating a sign or creating a shop. He was trying to sell melons. You get those for free from the starter kit. I don't know what he was thinking. Sorry if there's not a whole lot of editing going on here. I'm just kind of walking around. I know there's been a lot of talk about things like nostalgia in regards to old Minecraft, and it got me thinking like, hey, I have that old server map. What if I just walked around it a little bit? We're almost at the 20-minute mark. And, yep. So, I guess I've got this hat on. This skin, Giggles 246. Topaz Miner. I remember Topaz Miner. I think she was a girl. I don't know. I don't quite remember, but there was another server that a lot of us moved on to after Blocktown initially shut down. It came back after a while, but it shut down for what we thought was permanent, and then it turned out not to be, but as far as we knew, it was. So we moved to another server, and I remember, oh, almost killed myself there. We moved to that other server, and I remember Topaz Miner on that server became an admin. Now, what happened there is a story for another day, involving a lot of weird people, unfortunately. Perhaps I won't share that, but yeah. See, look, there's all this. I've been trying to find a couple of those books because I know there's, a few. There's some other places I've been trying to find in this server. I don't remember if there was ever a world border. I don't think there was. Um, so it's kind of like a big map. There are things I think I can do though, looking in the server's NBT files for things like maps, and I can look for player spawn locations and other things. I just don't know if, unfortunately I don't think there's things like a way for me to look at the warps um, that the server had or anything like that. There might be. Who knows? I just don't know where they would be stored. But yeah, this is the main spawn town. I think we've kind of hit most of the places in this 20 minutes or so. There's a couple of places I guess we haven't looked at. Did I look? Oh, someone had a lot of diamonds. It's just like a little castle. Don't know who made it. Can't really tell either. There's another little castle. This. If it weren't for these walls, this would remind me so much of how old beta builds used to be. Daddy 070. One thing I remember. Map, an unknown map. I wonder if it saves the. Huh? Look at that. It does. But yeah, I guess this was Daddy 070. I remember him. I think there was an entire family that played this server. There was someone whose username was Mommy, like Mommy. I think 1970 something. I think it was her birth year, and I think there was a Daddy. And then there was their son, his also is a YouTuber. I found out some time ago. I actually managed to find his YouTube channel, and he's still actively uploading, so that's kind of interesting. I don't want to mention who it is though, because his username was like his actual name. So, probably one of the less well advised decisions, I guess, back then was to just have your name be your username. I think this was our PvP arena, or one of the arenas. Was it? Yep. There was a warp set up for this. And, I was never really great at PvP. I was also like 11 or 12. But you can see there's all this stuff going on here around spawn. There's I think this was Stinker Town. You remember Stinker 444? I believe that was his little town on the outskirts there. I believe this was mine. This thing here, I believe this is my cactus farm. I had built this massive, oversized, like disgustingly large cactus farm. And the reason why is because I think you could sell cacti at the shop. And so if you just had a bunch of it, you could become really rich really quickly. And this was like the easiest way, and it was completely automated too. And it also helped that it was always near spawn, so it was always being like rendered. And so you would always get just a boatload of cactus, and then you could just sell it. Look at that. It's already doing it. The magic of Obsidian Maker. I don't even know what this does. But pull this lever, what happens? I don't think it works anymore, unfortunately. A lot of colored sheep here. Or are these the residents? Oh yeah, see there's Mommy 19... That's Mommy 1973, that's it. I remember the Big Star. Wicked, I remember them. Riptide, of course. Yeah, I figure I'll probably record more videos of me kind of exploring. I'll look through the server's NPT files just to see if there's anything I can gather there, anything cool. But if you've made it this far, watching my completely unedited video, thank you, and I hope you got something out of this just as much as I have. Thank you.